We will now look at the Need to Produce report inside the franchise funnel. So an option is listed in the Need to Produce report if it is either in the landed or scheduled status. Each option is listed separately. And I'm going to show you how to pull this report so that you can see the jobs that need to be produced. I'll also show you how to remove a job from the report. So either the job's been produced, and so we can move the option to produced, or for some reason the option got canceled. Either the customer canceled the job, maybe they had signed up for financing and their financing was declined, or by mistake you marked a job as landed and it never should have been landed. So let's take a look. So starting from your franchise owner app page, I'm going to go back to the beginning here. Drop down and go to dashboards. And remember, when you look at dashboards, your recent dashboards are going to show up. So you might have the franchise funnel listed here. You probably do. But if you don't, let's click on all dashboards and I can see the franchise funnel dashboard. So when I click on the franchise funnel dashboard, I see the entire franchise funnel. Leads to schedule, needs proposal, needs to close, needs to produce. One thing to remember about the franchise funnel is that it does not automatically refresh. It's going to refresh only when you click this button on the top right hand side to refresh it. So let's do that to make sure that we've got the most up-to-date information. I scroll down to find my Needs to Produce report. And just like with the other ones, this view shows me the top 7 or 8 items that are in the Need to Produce bucket. I want to see the entire report, so I'm going to click on View Report, and that's going to open my Need to Produce report. So inside the Need to Produce report, there's several really important fields to take a look at. First of all is the install schedule date. So if you're using your installer's calendar inside of Salesforce, and you've assigned a particular option for a date on that calendar, then that date is going to show up here on this install schedule date. It's a really helpful feature, and it's one of the reasons that I like using that installer calendar inside of Salesforce. You'll see the date that the job was landed, the customer name, the total amount of the job. Then you've got an option, you've got the proposal link itself. So remember, anything that you float over, if it highlights itself and underlines itself, you'll notice that that is a hyperlink that'll take me straight to that field inside of the option. So for example, I'm going to come down, we're going to pick on this job for Ben Martin. Now, if I click on Ben Martin, it's going to take me to Ben Martin, the customer, and that's helpful if that's what I want to look at. So I'm going to back out of that and come back to my Needs to Produce report. When I'm looking at Ben Martin, if I want to look at the actual option project plan link, I can click on that plan link, and this is going to give me the floor plan link. So I can see the rooms plan, I can see the floor plan that's here. If I had done let's say this is a carpet job and I had done a seaming diagram on the tablet, that's going to show up here under measure square. When I click here, that pops the seaming diagram right up, so I can share that with an installer or download that for use. Went too far back. Let's go back into that again. So inside the floor plan, any of these notes, so this is really helpful if I've done a nice job of putting this information together on my rooms plan. This is the external link, so I would use this link to send to an installer. If I wanted to send it to another franchise owner or somebody that I could get some help with for something, this link is useful for external users. So I would simply copy this link and it can go out, and of course you can see from here you really don't have access to get to anything else. So it's a safe thing to be able to send to somebody if you wanted to send to somebody. And if I had photos of the job, they would show up here as well. So anything that I've taken inside the tablet, inside the rooms plan, would show up here. All right, so going back to the Needs to Produce report, that's what happens when I click on the option project plan link. That takes me to the project plan. But let's say that I want to go into the option itself. So this is Ben Martin's job, and now we've actually done this job. I can click on the option name, and that's going to take me straight into the option. And you can see that this option is in the landed status right now. If I wanted to move that option into the scheduled status, right now it's highlighted, it's landed. So if I click on mark the status as complete, then it's simply going to move it. Now it is scheduled, and if I clicked it again, it would mark it as produced. Let's say that instead of producing it, so if I wanted to get it off of the need to produce report because I've already produced it, I would click this button again and it would make it produced. But now let's say that the customer had they had called you, and for whatever reason they want to cancel the job. So after some back and forth conversation with the customer, you decide, yep, we're going to cancel this job. Up here on the top right hand side, I click cancellation, and there's two options here. One is the customer canceled the job, so for whatever reason they found it somewhere else or they decided not to go through with it. You can mark it as the customer canceled the job. The other option is that financing was declined. This is particularly helpful for you to be able to later get statistics on, how many people is it, what is your percentage of financing declined? And we've never had the opportunity to really capture that data before. So it's important to distinguish between if the customer wanted the job canceled or if a finance company simply declined them and now you can't move forward with the job. I don't want to do that in this case. I want to go back to our franchise funnel. So what if one of these jobs, Steve Jones, for example, you know what? I marked them as landed, but they never really landed the job. I mean, this was a mistake. It's not that the customer canceled. It's purely that I made a mistake and marked them landed when I shouldn't have. In that case, I simply want to get the information from this, as detailed information as I can, the customer name, the project number, and the option number, and send that to the IT department and let them cancel the job. That way it comes completely out of the statistics. The IT group can pull it out so that it doesn't show up in your landed job sales. It's completely out of the data. If you mark it as canceled, it still shows up as a landed job that was later canceled. In this case, if it was something that was purely a mistake, you simply want to send that over to the IT group to let them deal with it.